Hello, darling.
Oh God, that's you being here.
Yes, I know.
I met Annie about 10 years ago, and we began talking at Seba at the retreat centre, Gippsland at the retreat centre, and we began talking when I was doing the laundry, down at the laundry at the bottom of the retreat centre, and Annie would come down and she would say, look, I'll hang out and fold and you wash. And so that's how we got to sit for a cup of tea in between the hanging out and folding and washing, and we would be sitting there philosophizing, talking, telling each other about each other's lives. And at one stage she said, now how would you like to read some of the things I've already written? And I said, I'd love to. And so that began a reading session for me in the caravan that I lived in, snuggled up with my beanie on. It's very cold down in Gippsland, snuggled up reading at night, reading this amazing story. And I asked Annie, these stories are really interesting. They're really written in a very readable style. And she said to me that she had actually done quite a bit of, or she had actually got to know in her lifetime quite a number of writers, people who loved language like she did, and that she had been part of writing groups as well. So when I was reading these stories, they were already in a very, an excellently written style. And because I'm also interested in languages, we were both language teachers, and we're both interested in language and fascinated by words, I really enjoyed just simply the reading of it. When she leaves Brisbane after a very dramatic time, she says, she doesn't just say we left Brisbane, she says our departure seemed like a slow motion operation, when each root of my former life needed to be painfully extracted like an aching tooth. And I joined the Ateneo, and this is in Madrid. It's a big library. It's like the Athenian Club in London. A very exclusive club with a magnificent library. Libraries drew Annie like magnets. With some difficulty and lots of persuasion and lies that I was an academic, I became an associate member. The reading room was beautifully appointed with leather armchairs and sloping desks of heavy polished wood, each having an adjustable light, plenty of room for books and papers, with a small table at the side fitted with an electric bell, all the details. The bell puzzled me until I saw a reader ring it, and a waiter silently appeared, took an order, and returned with a tray of hot chocolate and churros, a standard mid-morning refreshment. Not like the reading room in the British Museum, I thought. The reader said something to me I did not understand in Spanish. Maybe I stared, but after that, the same reader often sat at a desk nearby and would give the same order and say the same thing to me. I asked my friend Mercedes what this was all about, and I learned the old custom that before starting to eat, the food should be offered to anyone nearby with a ritual phrase that roughly translated meaning, would you care for some? Etiquette demanded that it be refused, with a may you benefit from it. This custom came from a time when many people suffered hunger, therefore it was impolite to eat without offering what one had, though honour insisted that it be refused. And what happens if I accept the food? I asked my friend Mercedes. Oh, that would be unthinkable. No one ever would. Of course, that was something I couldn't resist. And when the reader next received his order and said the little phrase, I replied, yes, please, without the slightest appearance of surprise. The young man bowed, spoke to the waiter, who brought me his tray of refreshments, and went to fetch another. When the second tray arrived, he asked the waiter to bring me his card, on which I read Manrique de Lara Acevedo. And so began a friendship which was only interrupted by the Civil War.
Myself and Annie Choki have known each other for about 9 or 10 years now, which is most of my adult life. So.
Most of my adult life.
I'll read out this letter, which is from our spiritual director, Lama Chodak. Many greetings to you all who have gathered here in Maruya to attend the launch of Annie Choki's book. I am sending this note to be read out at this gathering as I am unable to attend due to a prior commitment. I first met Annie Choki with her now late husband in Sydney at His Holiness the Dalai Lama's Kala Chakra teachings in Sydney in 1996. Annie Choki's life is a good example of the merit of living a long life. What inspires me from her life is how she feels so much at peace to live as a Buddhist nun. Our Buddhist community in Australia is still relatively young, but our members are made up of many people from all different ages and backgrounds. So having someone so senior as Annie Choki amidst us, attending our retreats, meditation sessions and classes from early morning into the late hours of the evening, has inspired many old and new students. Since Annie Choki is not to be seen at our retreats lately, many ask about her whereabouts. When we tell them that she has moved to live in a nursing home, most are relieved to know that she is still in her robes. Annie Chokila, on this special day, I send you my best wishes and the blessings of the Triple Gem. May all those who meet you be inspired by you staying in the robe of the Holy Sangha. May your remaining in the robes raise the inspiration of the Buddha's immaculate teachings and bring peace. Yours always in the Dharma, Lama Chodak Rinpoche, 17th of November, 2012. And he also asked that I offer this ceremonial scarf to Annie as a congratulations.
With viola, how is viola to work with?
Well, I'd written it before we decided to do something with it. I mean, it's taken years and years to write all the different chapters of it.
Yes.
And I never thought of putting it in a book, but it was all there.
Marvelous.
So you don't write it, it writes itself.
Yes, or else I'll come across the feed. You love that girl. Yeah, it's bad.